Pastor Coley Gracey. He is with the Shiloh Baptist Church in Pontiac, Michigan. I love what you guys are doing to try to help the community and the kids in this virtual learning environment. Pastor, thank you for being with us on the Oakland County MegaCast.
Thank you for having me.
Have you had to go back to fifth grade math yet?
Now, look, fifth grade math is completely different. They have a brand new math that we didn't learn, and I'm flunking out of school all over again. This is bad.
Right? I'm like, no, if they come to my classroom, they're going to have to carry the one.
That's it.
Pastor, if you can bring us up to speed for those that aren't familiar with your learning initiative, give everyone an update as to what you all are doing over there at the Good Church.
Well, as we know, because of COVID, our school systems in Pontiac specifically have been shut down to go 100% virtual. Because of that, students are forced to stay at home. Thankfully, we've been blessed enough where most of the students have been gifted laptops from the school district, and they can log straight in. The problem is they don't have Wi-Fi at home, or their Wi-Fi isn't strong enough, or their parents may be working during the day and they don't have the proper help. This all started because when it first began, I was driving down the street and I just so happened to see three kids sitting on the curb at a fast food place. And I'm curious, hey, what's going on? And they said, well, we're here because we had to log into school and we don't have Wi-Fi at home. So right then it clicked, we have to do something as a community. So I went to the church, I went to the community. I said, look, we need to set up some safe space where kids can come and log into school and get their education. So we're blessed enough at Shiloh to be able to offer, we offer free breakfast, we offer free lunch, we give them a snack, we give them access to our Wi-Fi. And it's just an opportunity for them to come in, learn something, get what they need from school, and continue their matriculation. Because the truth is, the people that we're helping now are going to be our doctors, they're going to be our lawyers. And if they don't get it now, we're going to be in trouble in about 10 years.
Oh, you know what? That image of those kids, it breaks my heart, and it must have done the same for you as well. So bless you and all of you for not just stopping to talk to them, but taking it to the next level to realize that there are so many people that need help.
That's what we do. And it was kind of scary because, you get the creepy old guy coming up to you at the fast
Right.
food place. Like, hey, what are you doing? And they looked at me like, I don't talk to strangers. But when I told them what they were doing, they looked halfway excited. I have not seen them yet, partially because I'm thinking if I was that age and some guy came up to me and said, you can come down to the church if you want, I probably wouldn't go either. But it is what it is, and we're offering what we can.
You bring up a great point though, because I think there are other people that would want to reach out and help others, but because we have been taught don't talk to kids because they're being taught not to talk to strangers, but you want to help, but if we don't drop that barrier and have these impromptu conversations, because I feel like if we don't move in that moment that we feel something, we don't go back to find out who that person was to be able to help them. So it puts people in a hard spot, but at the end of the day, you just hope their heart speaks to them because you're making a huge difference right now. And thinking of that and thinking of the people that have maybe seen something like this and they want to help, how can they assist your church in what you're doing?
Ronnie, I'm so glad you asked. We are accepting donations. Even if it's a monetary donation, if you make it out to the church, it's tax deductible. If it's simple snacks, if we have business owners that own like restaurants and they want to help us out with the food, if anybody's looking for community service hours and they want to come in, they want to sit at the desk and pre-screen, because we go through the truth is at Shiloh, we're still not back in for worship, but they allowed me to open it up to help these kids. So we have somebody at the front desk that are pre-screening people. They're taking temperatures, they're taking logs. So if that's all you want to do, if you don't deal with kids at all, I have a position that you can help. The doors are open. Come on in. We can put you to work. But however you want to help, trust me. If whatever you feel like doing, I can find a place for you to do it.
Pastor Coley Gracey with us here on the Shiloh Baptist Church on the Oakland County Megacast. I know we've had you on before. Your church has also been a location for some COVID-19 testing. When we are coming into 7 months into this pandemic and into this crisis, I feel like people are getting COVID-19 fatigue, if there is such a thing, and they're starting to forget the rules and the regulations and why it's important for us to do what we are doing. How do you manage to keep those that are becoming, depressed about all of this? How do you keep their faith and their hope up that there is another side to this crisis?
We've been preaching, my preaching and my teaching through this we haven't been in the actual church house since March. So everything that I've been preaching, everything that I've been teaching, everything, even in conversation, it's just a message of hope. Like, look, this is not forever. And I'll often use, small things like when you were in high school and that little boy broke your heart, that was the end of your world. You thought you were going to die right then. Now that you're 20 years older and you're looking back, wasn't so bad and he wasn't that good looking anyway. So if you look at it from that standpoint, the things that you're going through right now, they seem like the absolute worst. This COVID experience is horrible. I take nothing from it. But the truth is, once we get over the hump, once we get past it, there hasn't been anything in history that has been able to keep us down. We've been through a pandemic before. We've been through smallpox. We've been through so many different sicknesses and illnesses. This is just another one that we're going to have to get over. And once we do, we'll be able to get back to life as usual.
Pastor Coley Gracey with us from Shiloh Baptist Church in Pontiac with us today on the Oakland County Megacast. 12 to 15 students in this learning initiative. Food is available, and these students can go to virtual school at the church. Is there a limitation? Is there a cap that the church is putting on how many kids each day are going to be allowed to be schooled, to do the virtual schooling at the church?
We're trying to set them up so that they can have some bit of normalcy. So we're accepting up to 15 kids. I still have room available, but we're just asking that they would be able to come Monday through Friday. That's all we're asking. It's just like a regular school situation. So if we can have some consistency, we'll be able to serve people a little better.
And Pastor, what hours is your church available for them?
We are absolutely flexible. Right now, I open the church at 7 o'clock and we leave here at about 4. So I'm trying to cover all grade levels. Now, there are some grade levels some different districts that start at 7. So we can open a little earlier. It really depends on who comes in, who signs up, and what their need is.
And that's what's so hard is all these different school districts are doing different things. And I'm like, I couldn't imagine if I had kids and like some are in elementary and some are in junior high and others are in high school. Every school is doing something different. It's got to be challenging.
It is absolutely nuts. I have an elementary school and a middle school that are on 2 different, completely opposite schedules. Their lunches are at different times. They start at different times. They end at different times. They get on my nerves at the same time. So it all works out.
So, and Pastor, I'm curious to know, just from a family standpoint, how are they coping? What are you hearing from some of the people in your community? How are they coping with this? Because I feel like it's not only kids that are falling between the cracks, but it's also their parents as well, because people feel ashamed to reach out and ask for help. And I feel like if there's any time in this world right now that it's okay to ask for help, this is it.
It is. And that's a stigma that we have to get over, even in this community. It comes down. That's one of the reasons why we're not packed to capacity, is because people are so proud that, look, if I'm not on my bare knuckles, I can make it on my own. And the truth is, there are organizations here that can help. There are churches here that can help. Don't be so proud that you end up running yourself absolutely crazy before you reach out and ask for help. I think a lot of it can be helped with maintenance instead of going in and having to do last minute surgery.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. And two, it's once you actually open up and ask for that help, or not even asking for help, but have conversations with other people, those are important conversations to have so that you don't feel like you're so alone in this world. So when you're speaking with people from the community, are you having those conversations and telling them to reach out to other people? And maybe if they're not comfortable coming to the church, reach out to a neighbor, reach out, to the person at the grocery store or the gas station, have a conversation with someone.
Well, honestly, Ronnie, one of the best things that I've seen happen is this has almost been a reset button for our community. I think we started to grow so large that we were able to go home. We'd go into our 2-car garage that's attached. We'd close the garage. We'd go in the house. We wouldn't say anything to anybody. We'd get up in the morning. We'd leave. We'd come back and do the same thing. So our communities weren't communities anymore. What's happening now because of COVID, a lot of people are home more. A lot of people are in their common areas more. So even if they're not right next to each other, socially distanced, I can see my neighbor and say, hey, you doing okay? You need anything? Everything okay over there? And you start to build relationships again in the community. So that's actually a positive that I've seen.
Pastor Coley Gracey with us from Shiloh Baptist Church. Just another few minutes with you, Pastor, before we will let you go today. If there's anything else people want to know about your learning initiative program, that still is some space available, and they want to get in contact with you to arrange to have their child be doing their virtual learning at the church, or any other information about projects going on at Shiloh Baptist Church in Pontiac, how can they get in contact with you? What's the best way for them to find more information?
Thank you, Tyler. Because I always forget to plug it, but the easiest way to contact us is through our Facebook page. You can search us at the Shiloh Baptist Church, and it'll pull up our page, or you can email us at sbcpontiac@gmail.com. However you want to reach us, you can. If you Google us, you'll get a phone number. I'll be honest with you. I'm from the age where we're not really using phones, especially landlines. So some people won't use a landline at all. So if you want to email me, if you want to send me a message through Facebook, we're also I'm on Twitter at Rev Gracey. I'm on Instagram at Rev Gracey. I'm on Facebook. However you see me is a good way to reach me. I'll be completely honest.
No Snapchat, no TikTok?
I do have Snapchat. Hey. And I do have TikTok. I don't put anything on, but mostly at my background, I was a youth pastor before I became a senior pastor. So all of my social media outlets are to keep up with all the kids that I touched in the past, that I was able to reach out to, and they're in college now, and they'll put something strange on them, be like, hey, don't forget, I'm still following you. I'm still here. And I'm not a parent, but I'm somebody that's safe, that they can, I was just having a bad day. I'm glad you checked on me. Thank you for looking out for me.
I always tell my niece and nephew I cyberstalk them.
I do.
And you know what? You need to hold when this pandemic is over, or you could do it virtually, you should hold a social media class for older people, because my twin sister, she's not on any social media. So that's why I'm on it, so I can monitor her kids. But they now don't post anything on their face or their social media because they know I'm watching them. So now I cyberstalk their friends because their friends will post stuff. So I know what they're doing. Is that wrong?
Absolutely not. You've become a good detective. You've become a good aunt. That's what we're supposed to do as responsible adults. And the honest truth is, a lot of my congregation's older. So our church services have been online. My Bible studies have been online. So it's almost forced them to start Facebook accounts. Now, for a while, every time they logged in, they made a new one. So I have 4 different friends with the same profile picture, but they got the hang of it, and it's the ability to connect generations, and I think that's what we should be doing anyway.
Any indication as to when you'll start actually having services in person again?
I have absolutely no clue. I just met with my leadership board to let them know that, one, I'm not in a rush. Um, and I mean, I've been talking to some people. Some people said, look, it may not be to the first of the year. I've talked to other pastors, and they said they may not open until Easter of next year. I'm honestly going by science. I'm going by the numbers, real numbers from Michigan. Originally, I wanted to go back in August. I saw the spike in July, and I said, no, no chance. We're not going back. So when it starts, when the curve starts going back down, we can look back at it. But as of right now, it's literally day to day.
And as you said, it's teaching all of us to get out of our comfort zones and to learn to use technology to be able to reach out to one another. So that is, at the end of the day, a gift that you're giving all of the members of your church. Pastor, it's always great having you with us on the Oakland County MegaCast. Be sure anytime you have any updates, will you reach out, let us know. We'd love to have you on again.
Absolutely, I love being here. I do want to say in my closing statement, we've often said that the church is closed. The truth is, we're the church, and we're more busy now than we've ever been.
Oh, and thank you for everything that you're doing for the community of Pontiac and for the kids as well. We appreciate everything. And be safe, be healthy, and happy weekend to you and all of your members as well.
You too.